primal beat of the heart, sacred rhythm of parts, it was there from the start, primal beat of the heart, primal beat of the heart.
We all want to be happy. That's what we say. We want to be happy, and usually we want what we don't have. As soon as we have something, we're not so sure we want it. You know, he wants her, she wants him, they get together, and then they're not so sure that that's what they want. So, if we want to be happy, we have to be very aware of the parts of us that don't want to be happy at all. How is it possible, we ask, how is it possible that we don't want to be happy? Well, yeah, we have so many parts that are afraid of anything that is the unknown, anything that is unfamiliar to us. In fact, if we want to be happy, we must talk about politics. Yeah, politics. How is it possible? You know, there is a law that says, as without, so within. As within, so without. The same forces and the same battle of forces that act outside act within us. As soon as we understand that, we can actually, you know, lie back and even enjoy the show that very often frustrates us. You know, when we look at politics, we look at politicians, we very often feel frustrated, angry. As soon as we realize that as within, so without, we can actually enjoy the show, even laugh, and most importantly, learn about ourselves, about how things actually operate. You know, we too have a ruling party, ruling patterns, you know, patterns that rule us, literally neural pathways that actually rule us. You know, we say we want to be happy, we say we want change, we say we want all sorts of things, but we always act the same according to our ruling party, according to our ruling patterns, neural pathways that are like a program. We are programmed, but we want to be happy. How is that going to happen? We have a ruling party, we also have the opposition. As within, so without, as without, so within. For every part of us, we have an opposing part. For every want, we have I don't want. So how are we going to make peace? How are we going to be happy if we don't understand the forces that rule us, rule the world? Everything that exists on the outside exists within us. The police, you know, we have an inner police, we're constantly on guard, you know, we are afraid of losing control, constantly controlling. Prisons, we have prisons within us. So many parts that we imprison, like our creativity, like our expression. How often do we not express what we really want, what we really feel? As without, so within. This is the law. So if we want to be happy, we have to understand how the world actually operates. And what do we do then? You know, on top of everything else, research shows that happiness is actually genetic. That is, the level of happiness in each and every one of us is genetic. We are born with the ability to be happy, or not very happy, or very unhappy. And research indeed shows that it doesn't matter what happens to us, whether wonderful events happen to us or whether terrible events happen to us, it's only temporary. Our reaction is temporary. Eventually we will come back to our level of happiness, which is genetic. Great, but we want to be happy. So, is it enough to want? Is it enough to just want when there's so many factors we are unaware of? And what does that mean? What do we have to do? Because we're not talking about psychological matters. We talk about physiology. We talk about biochemistry. You know, our moods, our happiness is actually affected by hormones, by neurotransmitters, by radiation, by so many factors. Is it enough to say, I want to be happy, but I'm not? So what do we actually have to do? In fact, there is no way we are going to be happy unless we are committed to happiness, unless we are committed to doing whatever it takes to turn our unhappiness to happiness. And holistic pulsing, the power of softness, offers so many tools and so many techniques that we can use throughout the day, even in our minds, you know, to turn victimhood, for example, victimhood into empowerment. Enemy number one of happiness is our victimhood. It's a terrible disease, you know, victimitis, we call it. We can never be happy as long as we're victims that have no power. And everybody is doing things to us, you know, the world is not giving us what we deserve. That's not going to happen. We must be committed. Without commitment to empowerment, to responsibility, to happiness, to actually creating new patterns, different patterns, the automatic patterns are just going to take over. And you know, there's nothing we hate more than commitment. We hear a commitment, anything but. But the joke is that we are always committed. Always. We're always committed. We're either committed by choice or we are committed to our automatic patterns. If you're asleep, if we're asleep, our automatic patterns take over. And we just act, we do the same thing, but we want something else. You know, we want to be loving, we want to be open, we want to feel great, but we constantly act from our patterns of perhaps defensiveness, closedness, control. How can we feel anything if we're in control? How can we feel happy if we control? So the joke is we are always committed. So it's up to us to either be committed by choice to what we want or to be committed with no choice to all the messages of generations that have been passed on to us.
Primal beat of the heart, primal beat of the heart. Heaven echoes inside, primal beat of the heart. Sacred rhythm of pulse, it was there from the start. Primal beat of the heart. When you're craving for love, when you're needing a hug, when you're desperate for help, when your story is felt, just go back to the start. Pulsing deep in your pulse, primal beat of the heart. When you're craving for love, when you're needing a hug, when you're desperate for help, when your story is felt, just go back to the start. Pulsing deep in your pulse, primal beat of the heart, primal beat of the heart. Primal beat of the heart, primal beat of the heart. Primal beat of the heart, primal beat of the heart. Primal beat of the heart, primal beat of the heart. Primal beat of the heart.